First off, congratulations to Doug and Patti for the 20 plus years to operate M2 Global and to finally reap the rewards of all your hard work.
What makes me proud of M2, two things. One is Doug and Patti, how proud they are of America and the military, and also the Christian principles that they stand on behind. So me personally, that makes me very proud of M2, and what they stand behind.
Patti and Doug, because see, it's very important to me because Patti is my special person, because I've worked with her for many years, and she's the reason why I am with M2 Global, because I used to work with her several other places. The last place I was at when I retired there, they had an opening here for a part-time person. And so she let me know, and I interviewed, and so I work here part-time. It's because of Patti that started my relationship here, and she's a great person to work with. So, and my happiest memories are Patti and Doug.
What makes me proud of being an M2 Global employee is being part of the U.S. making parts for planes and helicopters, and I am very proud of being part of that.
First of all, I want to say thanks. I've been working here almost 20 years. I've been really grateful because it's been like a school to me. I've learned a lot of things. They gave me my first manager position, but I'm really grateful for them.
You know, Doug is not one to sit around, and I'm sure that, he's going to, after M2 Global, he's going to keep busy, and he's going to, spread some of the wisdom that he has as far as manufacturing, lean manufacturing, and he'll do a great job in the consulting business going down the road. And so I wish them all the luck, and I wish Patti and Doug many more years of happy life, and I'm sure that'll come to pass. That will be one thing that does happen.
Doug and M2 Global kept a very down-to-earth, very stable, non-tooting their horn, non-bragging, non-arrogant approach to doing business with all those they came in contact with. High integrity, always on time, and always delivering aerospace accuracy.
Well, it all started in 1997 with the restructuring of Harris Corporation Microwave Division, which entailed spinning off most of their manufacturing operations and then contracting their final assembly to a third party. As Vice President of Operations, I was responsible for shutting down their Montreal, Canada operation.
Meanwhile, at the same time at Diamond Shamrock Corporation, a multi-billion-dollar acquisition was in the process, and I was tasked with consolidating and streamlining my newly assigned Montreal, Canadian operations into my operations into San Antonio. So is it obvious how we met? We both were on a Delta flight returning to San Antonio. And no, my brother wasn't flying it, and ended up sitting next to each other. Our flight was delayed due to the weather, and since we were both sitting in first class, we were offered drinks. I ordered my first drink, and much to Doug's surprise, I asked for a single malt scotch. I think it was love at first sight for him. For most everyone knows here, that is Doug's drink of choice.
And if you smoke cigars, it would have been a done deal at the time.
Well, I couldn't. We were on a plane.
Fast forward, in 1999, I had completed the spinoff of all the operations except for what's left in Microwave Components Group. And at that time, Harris came back to me, and since we had nobody wanting to buy it, wanted to know if I would buy it and pick it up and keep it operational. Of course, I said yes.
Also in 1999, Doug and I had begun dating, and our relationship was progressing nicely. He invited me to join the family in St. Martin on a scuba diving trip. On the last dive, at 50 feet under the water, Doug held up his underwater tablet, and written on it said, "Will you marry me?" Obviously, I said yes, In February 2001, we got married. Well, everyone knows what happened in September 2001. Tragically, 9/11.
You know, and as a result, M2 Global sales dropped in half in less than 6 months.
And Diamond Shamrock happened to be going through a merger with Valero.
To survive after 9/11, we had to restructure ourselves or reinvent ourselves, and we identified that we really needed to get in the DoD market for manufacturing.
Simultaneously, as part of Valero's merger, I was asked to stay, but the terms of the merger also offered me a platinum package and to be able to retire at 46. I took the package. Actually, we took the package, didn't we, Kathy Bodenberg? My retirement, nor Kathy's, lasted very long, as Doug called upon our banking and cash management expertise. For me, I really think he did not like leaving me home in the bed in the morning all snuggled up.
In 2004, M2 Global was selected by the U.S. Air Force Small Business Office to participate in their Manufacturing Technical Assistance Program, which brought in additional consulting services into M2 Global, which allowed us to really accelerate getting into the DoD marketplace. Yeah, and then 2005 came. It was probably one of the longest days in my life when we had a fire at M2 Global.
I received a phone call at about 7 or 7:30 in the morning saying that we had a fire in our facility. This was before we were in our current facility. We were in a leased facility. So I threw on some clothes and drove in to San Antonio, and only to find, all the employees standing outside the building. And basically, it was even worse than what they had told us it was when we were finally able to be allowed back in the building. It was a real mess.
At the time, I was up in Connecticut visiting Sikorsky, and I was in my hotel room, and I was just getting out of the shower, walking back out, and I noticed my cell phone had vibrated off the table and on the floor. And at the time, I thought something happened to my parents, because my parents at the time were both in a assisted living center. And I called up Patty, and the first thing she said to me, Doug, it's really bad.
And so I'm coming down over there at Network Boulevard, and all the streets were blocked off. Hazmat was there. Fire trucks were there. They wouldn't let me through because it was blocked off. They thought there was going to be an explosion because we are on hazmat that will fire. We have chemicals. Anyway, so I said, I'm the owner. And I go over the curb and break the block and get here. Or over there, actually. And so sure enough, half of the building was burnt down, or everything.
Yes, at the time we were in 2 buildings, still in this park, and it was the machine shop, and we had an electrical short in our one of our special process areas that caught on fire, and a number of PVC ventilation systems caught on fire. And the bad thing about PVC, when it catches on fire, it creates hydrochloric acid. So we had black soot all over the whole facility. So it was the longest day of my life, flying back to try to take a look at it.
All the news stations were here, Channel 4, 5, and 12, with their cameras and everything outside, and they weren't leaving. And so finally, I told Archie, I said, let me go talk to them, because they were waiting for the explosion to happen. Anyway, so I go out there, and they say, oh, okay, so how is it? And it's like, when are you going to be operational? I said, oh, Monday. And they said, really? Really? Monday? I went, yeah, Monday. And like I said, just didn't tell them which Monday.
It was pretty bad. The insurance companies were great with SWBC. They came in and really supported us with the insurance carriers. They came in and said, it will probably be at least 6 months, maybe longer, before you'll be up and fully operational.
It was pretty devastating. Doug and I, because the whole back part of the building was open, and all of our inventory, all of our equipment was there, so anybody could walk in there and just steal it all.
And that's when I brought Patty back into the business. We ended up working 2 shifts, 7 days a week. Patty would come in for 12 hours in the day, and I'd come in on second shift and work another 12 hours with the restoration company, and we were fully operational within 90 days. And ever since, I wouldn't let Patti go. She was such an asset to the company, and she, at the time, she already had taken a retirement package from Valero, and I was really very happy and very lucky to get her back in the business.
At the end of 2005, our lease was up and for renewal. And after all those long days and nights, our landlord decided to raise our rent by 40%. This spurred us to look at other options. 2006 came. The deal was closed on buying 5714 Epsilon and forming our real estate company, P2D2. Just to let you know, P2 stands for Princess Patti, and D2 stands for Doug the Duke.
In 2007, the future of M2 Global changed when we were selected by Lockheed Martin Aeronautics for their F-16 and F-35 programs, which led to future years of recognition from Lockheed Martin, including being selected out of 1,400 suppliers of one of their top 25 performing suppliers.
Great going, team.
It was. I want to thank you all. You did a great job getting us there. In 2011, Bell Helicopters selected M2 Global as a supplier for their V-22 vertical lift Osprey program, which later allowed us to get selected for their V-280 program, which is a smaller version of the Osprey, which, by the way, was just selected to replace the Black Hawk helicopter. So that's going to be a great future for M2 Global. Between 2011 and 2018, we continued to grow to where we are today with a great future.
And then 2019 happened, the dreaded COVID-19. But being identified as a critical mission defense supplier, our doors remained open. We are proud to say not an employee was laid off and no paycheck was missed.
That's true.
2022, the ugly was behind us and the good was coming our way. Bell Helicopter nominated us for the SBA Small Government Subcontractor of the Year, resulting in us being selected as the Small National Business of the Year.
Bell and Lockheed Martin are not the only customers that have recognized us to be a top-notch supplier.
No, they are not.
We've had numerous customers in our product line, and especially Collins Aerospace, were their platinum supplier. Great job, team, again. Thank you so much.
Go team, go.
You got it.
2022 is the same year that Doug and Archie met Jasmine Shaw, President and CEO of ECI, at an international microwave conference. Jasmine was trying to connect with Doug. However, he was out of town and traveling. I received his call instead, and the rest is history as of June 15th. Throughout these years, like you said, we did have our ups and downs, but God was always there with us. He always held us in his hands and made sure we made it through. I just want Doug and I never, ever to forget the blessings that he has bestowed on us over these 20 some odd years with M2 Global. And now we're going to start a new journey and enjoy that time together. Doug.
Patti.
What a journey we have had, our ups and downs, good and bad. But overall, there were many, many more good times we had on our journey. Change can be very scary for us and you as well, but we truly believe the best is yet to be.